this is your girl, Elise.
I'm Dedrick.
And this is Bitch Let's Talk. So for Pop Tart World this week, I'm very excited. So I don't know, they're trying to pander to black people, but the Emmys is definitely very, very, very black this year. So this is going to be the 72nd for the Emmy Awards, and they have 102 nominees. And this year, it is going to be a plethora of people such as Dave Chappelle. We're going to have Anthony Anderson, Tracy Ellis Ross. We have Zendaya. We have Issa Rae. We have Yvonne Orji. We have Billy Porter. And the list goes on and on and on. And I'm really excited for, Kenan Thompson, because this nigga, has he ever been nominated for anything for being on SNL for 45 years?
No, he has been there for a while.
I think he's been the longest standing.
Did he go there after
black
Good Burger
person?
shit? Is that him? Is that true?
Yeah. Wait a minute. That's his claim to fame?
Hey, that's all I know. Bro.
Not Kenan and Kel? You ain't watched Kenan and Kel?
No.
What kind of childhood did you have?
A great one. I was outside.
Oh, that's true. Kenan and Kel was the shit.
Niggas saying he outside. I was outside.
Oh, that's fine. Also, The Becoming, which is Michelle Obama's documentary. Also, Kevin Hart's You Got Me Fucked Up. And
Don't Fuck This Up?
Don't Fuck This Up. Yeah, Don't Fuck This Up.
You gotta fuck this up.
Fuck you.
All right.
How about that?
All right. Jesus Christ.
So it's supposed to air September 20th on ABC. It's like I'm excited, but I'm irritated at the same time.
Why are you irritated?
Because I just feel like with everything that's going around with this Black Lives Matter movement and everything that comes behind George Floyd, is I'm happy for progress, but at the same time, I just feel like it's pandering to us at the same time. Why all of a sudden, out of 72 years for this fucking award show, this is the highest?
It's fucking with the money. And not only that, it's no other distractions. People have to look at what's going on.
True.
There's no distractions. There's no sports for real. There's no other shit you can just turn to and move along, go outside, take vacations, all that shit. There's nothing else to distract from it. You gotta look at it.
Yeah. So 34.3% has been nominated. This is the highest it's ever been. In 2018, it was 27.7. In the year before,
it's still not enough. Goddammit.
It's not, and I feel like
we make all the hot shit.
We really do.
That's true.
We really
ain't
do.
No black or brown in it. That shit is whack.
True.
Friends fucking suck. I'll say it again.
I really like the theme
song. That shit fucking sucks.
It's a horrible show, but I really love the theme song.
I watch it every day.
Wow. Friends?
Every day.
Every day?
Daily.
What's wrong with you?
Why?
What does it do for you? How do you relate?
It's still funny to me.
It's never been funny to me.
There's nothing funny about that show.
It's still funny to me.
Do you watch Living Single?
Yes.
Okay, well that's fair.
I mean, I have a good balance. I watch Living Single. I watch Girlfriends. So it's a good mix.
Yeah.
I watch
The Friends is
Seinfeld.
hilarious.
I still watch Seinfeld.
So
they are horrible people, and that's the only reason I love it.
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm because Larry David is me. Oh,
okay.
That's I'm horrible. Because I'm a horrible fucking person.
Yeah.
But
I'm a horrible person too. That's cool. Honestly.
Yeah, that's fine. We can be horrible together. But
that's why I watch Seinfeld. It's horrible ass people.
I love dry,
horrible.
cynical humor.
Yeah, but they all horrible. Yo, they broke up a married couple just so they could. Yo, that's hilarious. They horrible people. But okay, moving on.
Very, very true. So, I'm excited to watch it, and I hope that I'm just rooting for all the black people that's going to be on it. But it seems like every black person that we can possibly think of from every show has been nominated, even from cinematography, which I'm always very excited about because I feel like people behind the lens don't get enough credit outside of just being a director. So I'm really, really excited about that. So we'll see what happens. And speaking of our favorite shows, I'm very excited to announce that Netflix is going to be adopting or purchased these black sitcoms such as Girlfriends,
yes.
Half and Half, 101, Sister Sister, Moesha. So Moesha actually is out now, so you can watch and stream it all on Netflix. I loved Moesha, loved Moesha.
I may not be black because I didn't watch
I don't understand.
I was not supporting the black TV movement.
You were not.
I was like, oh, this
You're
shit
trash.
look ass to me. I'm good. What that shit was on a WB. I like chicken. Nigga, no, I'm not watching that shit.
Oh my god.
Hard channel switch.
WB, UPN, and CW.
Niggas like TV. That's what that shit was.
I cannot. I hate you.
Oh my god.
So yeah, and the game comes on. So that happens August 15th. Sister comes out September 1st. Girlfriends comes out September 11th. The Parkers, October 1st. 1-on-1 and Half and Half come on October 15th. Nigga, you never watched The Parkers?
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I need to hear this.
No, here we go. I'm from Baltimore.
And?
I've lived here all my life.
So?
I fucking hate Monique.
I agree with you.
Wait, why?
She is not funny to me.
At all?
I wish she get all her money, her bread from Netflix, but I do not find her funny at all.
At all?
She irritates the fuck out of me.
Why?
I don't know. But she does. I'll be like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I can't stand her. Countess Vaughn.
I love Countess Vaughn. Hey.
No, I'm good.
Why?
I'm good.
First of all, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with you. But
hey, it is what it is. Like
I love the Parkers.
No.
Because that was a spinoff from Moesha, so I was very excited about that because I miss Moesha.
I feel you. I mean, just black TV, black love. You know what I'm saying? The entertainment, but I am not a fan.
Yeah. I'm
not going to hate on it and be like, no, don't watch this shit. I just ain't watching it. You watching it?
Irritating.
Cool. I'll be over here. I'm going to watch something else.
Whatever. I'm very excited about Girlfriends. I really need to rewatch that because I know a lot of black people would be very upset, but I'm a Sex and the City person. Like, I'm very obsessed with Sex and the City. That is my life. And when people ask me, like, what's better, I always say Sex and the City. And people get mad because it's like, you're black. Like, you should relate to Girlfriends. Like, but Sex and the City inspired me to be a label whore. Like, I didn't know what Marc Jacobs and Jimmy Choo and Valentino was.
Me to be a label whore. That ain't the motherfucker sitting Jimmy.
I'm just saying,
like,
me
to be a label whore.
It did. Like, I didn't learn about fashion until I saw Carrie, how she dressed and how she handled herself. It also taught me the beauty of, like, womanhood and female bonding and friendships. Like, I felt like Girlfriends were a little too toxic for me, even at a young age. Like, it was just too much friction. And, like, with Sex and the City, it was like, these 4 women are together.
Let's do some hoe shit and black
Shut the fuck up.
They was doing hoe shit.
A little bit. And people... Some people do a little bit of hoeing here and there. That's okay. All right. Because they were in their 20s. But at least
so 20s are reserved for hoe shit.
You definitely.
Not 30s.
No, you should know better.
There are still a lot of women doing hoe shit in their 30s and 40s.
Well, they need to learn. Well, unless they married young. Like, I feel like if you marry young, you get divorced, and then you want to do whole shit, it comes at a later time, 30s and 40s. But if you already, you might be a hoe your whole life. I don't know. Everyone's whole cycle is a little bit different.
A hoe's gonna be a hoe?
Forever, I guess. Or they can retire at some point. It just depends.
So. I mean, hoes make the best. Yo, niggas be talking about, totally off topic, but they be saying you can't make a hoe into a housewife. Hoes make the best housewives, though.
Do they?
They done being hoes? Oh my God,
The question is, when do hoes be done?
Oh, hoes get worn out. hoes get worn out. Hoes get tired of being hoes too. You know what I mean? But a good hoe, man.
What is a good hoe?
They make some of the best songs.
And what's the bad hoe?
Bitch about shit. They know how to do all the freaky shit. You ain't got to teach them motherfucking thing. Man, some hoes is great.
But some hoes don't know loyalty, so you can have
some hoes. A lot of hoes that used to being treated like show enough hoes, like. Nigga, I can't
not show enough.
Doing this. This nigga unappreciative. Jesus Christ, but no.
So what's a bad hoe? I'm curious.
That's a whole nother show.
I just need a couple of examples.
That's a whole nother show.
No. I just need a couple of examples with a bad hoe because you said a good hoe. So what's a bad hoe? I just need some contrast.
I mean, the bad hoe is the one that's gonna fuck all your homeboys.
Oh shit, you know that is a bad hoe.
And act like she didn't fuck them all when y'all done talked about the shit.
Don't fuck the homie, sis.
You can fuck the homie, but
not in the circles. Like spread it out.
That sounds crazy. Right now. I can't do this conversation right now. I don't like going into it.
I'm just trying to help the hoes.
Nah.
Spread it out. Don't fuck the circle. Yeah. That's just. I feel like that is.
If you're in a hole, if you was a hoe in one city, and you leave, you good.
Well, Ludacris said it best. I got hoes in different areas.
Yeah, well, if you're a whole leader city, go to another city, you can.
Yes. So your oats.
Be a whole new person.
Spread it out. Yeah, spread it out.
And make the best housewives.
Yes. So anybody who wants to binge watch these Netflix shows with me, you absolutely can. I'm going to ask Dedrick if he wants to watch. He's going to tell me no, but I'm going to try it anyway. At least one episode?
Not even.
Why? You haven't even tried it.
I don't want to watch any of this shit.
You don't even know what this shit is?
Sister to sister.
You don't like Tia and Tamara, nigga?
No,
You
I
got
like
beef?
I like one of them.
They look alike.
And we got
the fuck?
No, they look alike, but one is clearly classer than the other. One is clearly classer than the other. You can see, and we got the same birthday. That's the funny shit.
Nigga. Okay.
And, let me see. Half and half. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I can't really. They're half sisters, yeah.
I'll definitely stand for that one.
Moesha, I'm not a Brandy fan like that.
Nigga.
Oh,
Why?
I just not. I mean, I like the when she's driving down the street hitting motherfuckers with a car.
Wait a minute.
That was real shit.
Dude, that was real life. That was not a part of her sitcom.
That was real nigga shit.
And then she never got charged, but that's a whole nother
Girlfriends, none of them bitches look like.
You don't like Tracy Ellis Ross?
Now but she got fatty though.
She really does.
She got fatty. But the rest of them was like, yeah. Who's the one chick that looked like a fucking cat or something? She was real skinny and had big ass shoulders.
Who the fuck is that?
What was the chick that had? I think she had
in
a
the
baby
show?
on the show. Yeah, I think she had a baby on the
Golden
show.
Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
What nigga? If I tell you,
not the light skinned one, not the one that had the tattoos.
Yes.
Her name, who was that? Lynn?
Yes, that's Lynn.
Not her.
Okay.
Not the tall chick with the big lips.
Tony.
The other chick.
That's Golden.
Golden, yeah.
She was wild crazy to me.
Really?
Yeah, she had some big ass shoulders. I don't know.
She'll fuck you up.
I believe it.
She real skinny. I
She
don't know how that
still
works.
had the hangers on that shirt. Like,
Wait, what?
She had some big ass shoulders, dog.
Are you really? Can you watch one episode of Girlfriend?
Not even.
If I paid you?
No.
You seriously?
Dead ass.
You're horrible.
That's true.
What about 101? Did you ever see 101 with Flex? The one nigga that played Michael Jackson?
He did play Michael Jackson. Oh, I remember that shit. Yeah, he did. Had all his white makeup on and shit.
Yo.
But that was horrible.
That was one of the worst movies I've
hold on.
ever seen in my life.
101 when they spoke in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, Kyla Pratt.
Oh, okay, yeah, she alright.
Yeah.
But, yeah, never watched that.
You never watched that either?
Never watched the Parkers.
I don't know what kind of life you have.
I had a great life. I was outside.
Well, you should have came inside sometime.
Not for that shit.
Whatever. We gonna figure it out. Wait, you never saw the game?
I think I may have seen a few episodes of the game.
It fell off at the end.
It did. I was very confused because they swapped out some characters. So I remember watching like the first season consistently, and then everything else outside of that is a blur.
On the game?
One of the Tia.
Okay.
Is that the one you like?
I think so.
You nigga, you don't know.
Maybe because which one of the 12 got a
one has a mole.
That's Tamara. She's on the talk. Or
The
not
real.
the talk. Something.
Yeah,
Which
that's the
is-
one.
one of them.
Who has the white husband?
Tamara.
Tamara.
Who's Tamala?
The man.
One of them bald be fucked up though.
What?
One of them they bald be fucked up. The head. One of them
Nigga.
I'm dead ass serious. Like,
I can't take you
Pull
nowhere.
the pictures up.
I'm not pulling up no
I
goddamn
promise you one of
pictures.
they bobs is fucked up.
The one that has
They got different hair.
No, they
They
don't.
twins though.
But I'm saying
It's the same genes.
But you can get different hair there.
Well, I saw a meme and it
Why
says
ain't
one
you go
goes
to the same
to
hairdresser your sister went to?
because one goes to a white hairdresser and
No,
one goes to
I
a
don't
black
think you go to
hairdresser.
a white hairdresser.
That's what
One of
the
they
meme
bobs be
said.
fucked up. One of they bobs be fucked up. And like, and it's gotta fuck with you if you got somebody look exactly like you and they shit be right and you like, damn, I fucked up.
They said that she goes to a white
You feel what I'm
hairdresser.
saying?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a
You look
difference
just- you look
between
just like-
going down into the city
But this what it is. This what
and
it
going
is.
to haircut.
Literally, you can see that. You can see the.
Bro, what's the other one? Oh, I forgot the name of it.
What?
I don't know.
Great clips?
Yes.
That's where they cut your hair with scissors.
Oh,
For
okay.
white people.
For the whites.
For the whites. Well, yeah, I'll be watching Fuck You, Dedrick.
Hey, why gotta be fuck me? Because I don't want to watch it. I didn't shit on your shows.
What if you just like put it on, just so it can get some good ratings and get money, and you just put it on mute and you just go about your business? That's how we can support.
Can I do it when I'm at work?
Yeah,
I just leave it on while I'm at work and I'll go home.
yeah. Just so they can, have high rated shows.
I can do that.
So-
It's gonna shut off after 3 episodes anyway.
True.
Netflix ass.
Are you
still
watching?
Are you
Right.
still watching?
They increased it to 6.
No, nigga, I'm
No.
fucking.
I definitely was watching something, and after 3, it was like, are you done?
It has to be long though, because I think I watched something and it was like 30 minutes, and I watched like 6 episodes straight, and it was like, are you still there? But yeah, we definitely want to support our Black people and their shows. So not only can they buy other shows so we can see them, but hopefully create other shows that are Black and can be in this creative
Family Matters
space.
on that shit. That's my shit.
Love Family Matters.
I ain't like Family
Who don't like Family Matters?
It don't hold up.
To what?
It don't?
The only reason it lasted that long was because of Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
He saved the show.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a popping character and shit, and then wound up being the whole show.
Exactly.
Whole show. And they got rid of the mother at the end.
Yeah, they did.
They got rid of Harriet.
He didn't went to the moon or something?
Right. It was too much.
Not she went to the moon.
The younger sister went upstairs and never came back?
Right.
She started doing porn, though.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she started doing porn.
Who?
Little sister started doing porn.
The youngest one,
Right, and then Aunt Rachel went away somewhere, and then Richie was just being raised by the...
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wait, what?
No, Richie did what?
I said Richie was raised... All of a sudden, his mom went away and never came back.
Yeah, Rachel did love never came back.
Right, and then whatchamacallit, they adopted old crazy boy from That's So Raven.
Mm-hmm. Orlando.
Only in America. It's my favorite song ever.
I just realized, like,
what?
Like early this year, that he was the same little boy y'all fucking Major Payne.
Yes.
I didn't realize that was
Major Payne.
Yeah, I did not realize.
I love how things come back full circle. Right. You look at stuff like, oh, yeah, that person was in that.
I think I said, I let Nick suck my dick. I said, what? What you say, nigga? I let Nick suck my dick.
I haven't seen that movie in a very long time.
Relax.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I hope this definitely opens some new opportunities for Black people to have their own shows, like all these Netflix original shows that they have. So the more we stream, the more we support. That means more dollars people are going to invest in. Corporations love money. They don't.
I'm mad that the whole Cosby cast got to take the hit off of Cosby though, because a different world would be. I'll sit there and binge all the different world.
Absolutely.
On Netflix, but just because it got Cosby name on it, like, oh no, I ain't fucking with it.
Listen, on, they haven't boycotted any of Weinstein stuff, and he has hella fucking movies that are great actually, but they haven't took not near one thing off. They're still playing it. You still can buy it, rent it, stream it, download it. Yep. So I don't like how the energy is. Like, keep that same energy on both sides.
Was Woody Allen and all kind of shit?
Yeah, like all that shit is still readily available.
They can rock, but anything we didn't get them out of here.
Nah, we gotta get them out of here. So
rules or suggestions for white people.
The caucasity. So for our Black Magic this week, this is very exciting. So 10-year-old tech genius, she gets hired at a school in the UK, and she will be a coding instructor. Her name is Emanuela. I'm not saying that right. Emanuela. Don't drink tequila, folks. Miyake, and she's a 10-year-old coding and programming prodigy. And this will be her first job at the Southfield Primary School in Coventry, England. So this will be an after.
Is she mixed? Because the last thing it sounds kind of Asian.
It does, but it doesn't specify. They said that she's from one of the countries in Africa. I want to say Nigeria, but I'm not necessarily sure. And so it's going to be an after-school coding club, and she will have about 10 students, and she will be responsible for HTML and CSS, and she actually started this when she was 7 years old. And so she's going to be obtaining some more diplomas in multiple softwares. And so I'm very, very excited. I love...
My life. Right.
Yeah, so she is doing advanced PowerPoint, desktop publishing, advanced Excel, and she's also in the process of learning a whole bunch of other coding languages. So
to the Black excellence.
Listen, love it. I think more women should be in STEM. I think it's very important. And all people of color should be in STEM, because this is what's ruling the world. And we do not want to be behind the curve, and we have no ownership and no education in this field. So,
and STEM wants the diversity.
They really do.
Yeah, they do.
There's a lot of online programs. So for parents who are interested in getting their children into STEM, they have so much resources and stuff now, especially with COVID. They're giving online classes for kids who are interested in learning how to code and learn how to do different things. So please sign your kids up. Robotics, everything, some form of engineering, coding, all of that stuff. Like, don't turn them down. Let them explore their options, because this is where this world, not just the country, but the world is going to. So, shout out to you.
That's what we had.
Right. Al Gore's internet is here to stay.
It's never going anywhere. So, shout out to you and all your future endeavors. I cannot wait to see how you embark upon the world and how you leave your imprint to so many kids. So I'm very excited.
Unless you plan on taking over the world and on some evil shit, then.
Child, I hate you.
No, thank you.
I don't think she's going to be doing that. I think she just wants to help.
Evil genius corrupts.
Sometimes, but she's black, so I don't know. I don't see that.
I know some evil ass black people.
Not power hungry the way the colonizer are.
Shit.
It's not in our genetics.
I'm like, okay. I'll introduce you to some folks.
No, thank you. Keep them far the fuck away from me. I'm trying to protect my energy.
I'll introduce you to some folks.
I cannot.
Evil motherfucker.
I hate you. So our panel discussion for this week, this topic is very important. So I have decided to create a series talking about what it's like to be black in America. So this is going to be the first of the 12-part series. So before we get started, I want to just introduce these wonderful black men that's in this room. So Jason, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for coming. We have Craig. We have Jamaal.
Hello.
So I just wanted to first say hello to everyone. And before we get started, it's very important that we talk about these types of topics. Excuse me. And with everything that's happening in the world, with the protesting, with the death of George Floyd, I think it definitely has shifted the culture in so many ways. And I've been in so many diversity inclusion meetings with white people. It has been driving me crazy. But I also understand that they don't get it. So I decided to create something where we can express ourselves, create a safe space where we can talk about our blackness in so many different ways, because I don't think people really get it. Because if the only thing they have is BET, MTV, and YouTube, they're so far removed. So I definitely want to talk to people that I trust and get great insight about certain things, because I can't just speak from my personal worldview, because that's not enough. You know, we need to talk to various amounts of black people, because our struggles come in so many different forms. And we can't just pinpoint it on just one black person, because that's still not going to be enough. So I'm going to go around the room first and ask, you know, what does it mean to you to be a black man in America? Jason, you go.
It's a hard question, to be honest with you. It's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle being black. It's beautiful being black. I love it.
Right.
I wouldn't change it at all, ever. But it's not easy. It's stressful. It's nothing is simple, simply is just going to the store, or simply just, what are you watching on TV? Because you're judged by so many different things, not just different people, just anywhere you go, you're judged.
Yeah.
And you're looked upon different. So, and even like sit here, like we can talk about, you know, like I'll never watch the Parkers. And I literally will never ever watch the Parkers.
Come on, don't tag team with Dedrick.
No, I'm sorry, that's garbage. And I actually made a personal vow to never watch it because she was so
Wait,
ratchet.
What?
Yeah. And I'll never watch it. But anyway, but see, here, even at this table, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Absolutely.
And that's part of being black, because we get that from everybody. We do it and we're joking, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like real on the outside.
Got you. Dude.
Question again?
What does it mean to be a black man in America? Your definition.
It means to be looked at like you the worst all the time.
Mm.
I love being, like you said, I love being black. I couldn't imagine being anything else other than that.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever something goes wrong, we're the cause of it. Something like that.
Mm.
Whether it be the black man or just black and pretty. And he's like, it's your fault. What? It's feels like you're always constantly scrutinized.
Mm.
But also constantly copied at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we hate you, but we love everything about you. What?
That's what Paul Mooney said. Everybody wants to be a nigga, nobody wants to be a nigga.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines.
Yeah, it's the real shit that, like, everybody wants to be a nigga, nobody wants to be a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it just constantly have to feel like you have to reassure everybody else that you're not on no bullshit.
Right.
You know, it's like you can't just walk around somewhere and have a blank look on your face or just a regular weird face. I feel like if you're not smiling at something when you're around white people or something like that, they feel like you're up to something. So.
Even that, you might look crazy. Smile all the time.
Right.
I think that's crazy.
I was like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Craig, what about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's a blessing, but then it's kind of like a double-edged sword too, like a complex question, because you can't really express yourself like you want to, because you got to be the man, for the family or the situation. And 9 times out of 10, you're normally raised by like single parent household or something like that, and so you pretty much you finding yourself. So it's a lot to deal with, because usually you've pretty much growing yourself, your friends, and reaching out from like information from shows, every black male inspiration.
Right.
So, but still, it's still a blessing at the end of the day, because like he said, everybody copy off of what you do. So it comes with a lot, but willing to take what everything comes with too. So.
Yeah, to piggyback off of what he said, it's definitely a double-edged sword, and I've heard it used in the context. It's like the gift of blackness is also a curse and a blessing. Like people have said, they want to copy our culture, they love our jokes, they love the music we put out, they love the dance moves. But when it comes to pull up for our lives, you're all of a sudden ghost. And it's difficult, but also to be a black man in America is, you always feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, and yet you also have to be a chameleon at times, because if you are seen in any type of way, it could be portrayed negatively all of a sudden. So you're kind of trying to just find your place to fit in so that nobody questions your existence, because we're always questioned. Our mere existence is always judged.
Right.
So it's very, very, again, black is beautiful, like everybody else has expressed. I would never change it for the world. It's wonderful. I love it that we can sit here and joke and laugh and talk, be black, but at the same time, it is a touchy subject, and like I personally always feel like I am walking on eggshells just to make sure that I am not perceived as a threat. Just my mere existence is not a threat, like you said. Making sure you're more jovial, something like that, because you just don't want the white people to think you're
angry,
and you could. But it's okay to have a bad day. It's like, I'm entitled to have a bad day, but
we're human,
right. But all of a sudden, if I'm having a bad day, all of a sudden, like, I'm disruptive, I'm evil, and all this other stuff. So it's definitely, I feel like it's walking on eggshells.
So how have you guys, how you were raised and your cultural background influence you to understand what your manhood is?
What my manhood is?
As a man.
Mine wasn't, well, I guess it wasn't typical, the stereotypical what you hear of how your black person is raised, but I'm from Pennsylvania, a little small town. Newcastle is like 10,000 people maybe. I mean, it's small.
Wow.
It's small.
You in and out.
Yeah. I mean, you literally know everybody.
Yeah.
But he was either black, Polish, or Italian. So, yeah. So, I mean, I grew up eating, lasagna, pierogies. Pierogies is my shit,
Some good shit.
Yes, I still fix them. And I grew up with a eclectic background. So, being in Baltimore was a big change for me, Well, actually, I started out in Cleveland, but same shit. We still kill each other. There's still gunshots. Cleveland just right behind Baltimore, that's all.
Yeah.
But it's weird because my outlook on things are different. I feel it now because it's so visual of, how you have to watch what you say around people. But I knew that type of freedom growing up. We didn't have a racial issue.
Yeah.
Where I was from, because that's all there was. We had no choice but to deal with each other,
Right.
So we didn't really have racial issues. So it took me a while and a shock value to, see that.
Yeah.
And that shaped me a lot, shaped me different in coming into where we're at now.
Yeah.
And and I grew up, like you said, without a father. You know, maybe an uncle. I had an uncle, you know, who would be there, but mostly women. And you didn't really have a lot of people to teach you how to be a man, you know. And I just learned from other people, but the level of, we'll say, the manhood, mine is skewed. You know, I'm going by what I see and going by what you see on TV.
Right.
You know, and that it's unrealistic what's on TV, you know. And it was forced upon us that way to make us think certain things were like that, like watching Good Times and stuff like that.
Right.
And then when James disappeared, you know, it's just...
Right.
It fucks with you growing up, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, mine's kind of weird.
Weird is good.
Yeah.
Weird is just different.
This is true.
Seriously.
Mine was different. Yours like, but almost similar but different. Like I grew up with my father, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncles. They raised me.
Nice.
So I had positive male role models all through my life, and even positive female role models. Even though it wasn't my mother, but I had my grandmothers and everybody. So to be a man, I was raised seeing this is what a man does, this is what a man doesn't do, this is what a man says, what a man doesn't say. So it was like certain shit. Like even now, like the way the world perceives us and how I look at it is that I'm a black man. I'm a stepfather. I'm not a father. I'm a stepfather. And you're supposed to protect and provide for your family.
Right.
You know, you don't hurt the people that's close to you. I didn't get a lot of interaction with white people as I grew up when I was growing up. But my father also made me understand there was other things outside of just my neighborhood.
Right.
You know, just out of everything that's around here is not the end of what the world is. He would take me out to different places to see stuff. We would go to down DC. If we could travel, we could go somewhere. He would take me. But it was always just me and him. He would show me, like, look, this is how they act. This is what goes on over here. Just to be open-minded about shit around you.
Yeah.
Don't just put yourself in a box. So, like, and my masculinity turned into, like, just no matter what you are, as long as you're a man, just be who the man that you are. Be a man of your word. If you do something, you say you're going to do something, just do it. And always protect. If somebody say something to your peoples and it's out the way sideways, do what you got to do.
Right.
Keep it pushing. But don't go looking for shit.
Right.
And so my skew is always people are going to be who they want to be. Just try not to judge them and try to look at it from where their side of how they grew up was, because it would have been different from what I did.
Right.
But that's just my shit.
I think it's a little bit different because I'm from the Eastern Shore. So I guess you deal with the race thing down there a lot compared to up here. So it's the same thing though. You pretty much on your word as a man, you know, if you say something, pretty much honor what you say. Because you don't think you got your word. And pretty much family first. You treat family like, you know, you protect your family when you're out there in the world. And it was a lot different than when it is up here because they still fly the flags and stuff like that down there. So you deal with that complex racial tension.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, but you just pretty much look out for each other. You know, your family, your friends, but it's a different element down that side compared to up here.
So when you saw the flags, how did that make you feel? Because I'm assuming you were much younger.
It's kind of like the same feeling like if you're riding in your car, you feel the police come by. Even if you ain't even do nothing, you still got that attention. Yeah, so you're on point. If it may go left, so it's the same type of feeling.
Did they prepare you for that? Like what that flag meant and who those type of people were, or you just kind of saw with your own eyes? Yeah,
I think they prepared, but I think the first interaction I had, I was like second grade. So
wow,
it always been like that even to this day down there. So
when did it happen?
somebody, use the N-word on me, try to do the racial thing. So I pretty much got suspended because, I
punched him?
Put the hands of God on.
You fucking better. You fucking better.
Because, that's what was always taught to me. Somebody violate you, you got to violate them in the same way.
Facts. Yeah.
Because that's what you got. Don't never come back home losing something if you never stand up for anything. That's what a man is, stand up for your family, yourself, your last name, your pride. So everything, you know what I mean?
It's a lot of shit to learn at 2nd grade. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. A lot of grown people can't even understand that concept. So for you to be in 2nd grade to experience that's intense.
Yeah.
For me, I think I grew up single parent household. My mother raised me and my sister. So for me, my manhood kind of was, or my ideology of a man was, or has been what my father wasn't to me. So if he said he would come and pick me up but didn't come and pick me up, I've tried to be a person that tries to keep my word. I've been trying to do stuff like that. So I've kind of just been trying to fill the gaps, or just trying to be the man that I would have liked to have seen growing up, or the role model that I would have liked to have happened to me. And just like you, I grew up in a small town. We from Jersey originally, but we lived in Newark, and then when my parents split, my mom moved us back to her hometown, which is Madison, which is like maybe 16,000 people, but it's very, very small.
Right.
And we were one of, I want to say, 7 black families, and it was primarily Italian. So everybody knew my family. Like, they knew my auntie, they knew my uncle, they knew my mother, they knew my grandmother, because my grandmother's been living there. She's 80. She's been living there for her entire life. She won't go. But so growing up, I had the same teachers my mom had, and stuff like that. So everybody knew us. So growing up, because I was known in my town, I didn't really feel like it was racial, even though they would say some things to me. Now looking back on it, I realized how racial it was. But my mother was always very cognizant to tell me and my sister that outside of this town, you're really a nobody. And you won't really understand it. And it wasn't until I moved to Boston that I really understood. And it's when I started getting followed by the police, when people would be like, why are you following me? And I'm like, bitch, I'm going my own way. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm minding my business. So my mom was very, very cognizant to like say like, hey, like, just because it's nice here doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. You're a black man and people are going to judge you and all this other stuff. So my awakening wasn't until like college and stuff like that. And I know that's like a long way, but like we all have that awakening that happens. And so it's like you're never prepared for when it happens. Right. You're never prepared for when it happens. So
shit, they look at me, I'm a nigga.
Right. And you're like, what the fuck? But yeah, so that was so I've been always cognizant of trying to just be the male or the male role model that I never had. Yeah. And whatever that means, like wherever there was a gap in my life, I want to not make the same mistakes. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
So how has media impacted you guys? Because I remember growing up, the 90s was such an interesting era with rap and film and things of that nature. Everyone had to be super hard. Everybody had to be a gangster. Everybody had to have bitches and hoes. Like, so how did that growing up and impact you? Like, to see the TVs and listen to the music and all the those things. Like, how did that impact you as a black man?
Definitely shapes you. I mean, even inadvertently, that you maybe try to be, like you said, cognizant of what's going on and what you're watching, but at the same time, it's going to shape you. It's the thing that you watch every day. It's constant bombardment. It's TV programming. Right. They're programming you to be this way, this, that, and the other. But if you're not strong enough to be like, hey, I know life is different. This does not have to be what I am. Or I don't have to be that, what they perceive me to be. Then you fall right into those traps.
Yeah. Did you fall into the trap?
I did my fuck shit.
Yeah.
I fell into some traps too, but at the same time, I also always had my father there to be like, yo, you ain't got to do the bullshit. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do the bullshit. And you see what your cousins and everybody else is going through, motherfuckers in and out of jail doing fed time. It's like, yo, you ain't got to do that shit. Right. I mean, I understand you curious. You with them all the time. Y'all do certain stuff together. it's family, this, that, and the other, or they friends, but you ain't got to do the shit.
Right.
Or if you do the shit, be smarter about it.
Right.
I mean, but it's also I feel like it's a fictionalized view of it because everybody I grew up with wasn't on the bullshit.
Right. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody. I mean, I grew up on Pressman Street. I mean, the Junction, all that shit down there. It's like, it's the hood. Everybody on bullshit. Niggas. I remember growing up being in the 6th and 7th grade and all that stuff. Cats just wanted to draw. Everybody, of course, everybody wanted to rap because everybody see the chains, the cars, all that kind of shit, the fancy shit. But cats wanted to draw. I had friends that wanted to be marine biologists and shit in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like everybody didn't let all that shit just
get to them.
Pigeonhole and box them into you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
Right.
It's entertaining, but also at the same time it's very irritating. Because like that's not what we are.
Very true.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
And for me, music did shape me a lot, but also from where I came from, the little small town, I stayed there in Newcastle till I was like 12. Then we moved to Cleveland. Okay. So, by 12 years old, we're looking at like 84, 1984. So, on posters on my wall was Madonna, Prince.
The good shit.
But also, I wasn't a Michael Jackson fan. But,
wait, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, I was not a Michael Jackson fan. It just didn't work for me. But also De La Soul posters, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So my movement into rap music took the oddball spin on it, like special ed and stuff like that. It wasn't
oddball spin.
Well, no, it's not NWA. Put it that way.
Right.
But I mean,
right.
Black, yeah.
exactly.
But still, yeah.
But once I got to Cleveland, you saw the definitive between people. The dividing in music. Like when gangster rap came out, you had to have it. You had to be that.
Right. You had to emulate what you saw.
Right. And coming from where I was, that wasn't me.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. There was an Easy poster on my wall because the music was still dope, but it wasn't a lifestyle that I looked for. It didn't. I think where I came from got me to where I am now because
it didn't pressure you to be a quote unquote gangster.
Exactly, because I'm in IT now and I fix computers.
There's some gangster niggas that fix computers.
This is true.
Because the motherfucker typing.
Exactly.
Get off with
play with them if you want to.
Catch these hands.
Right, and I've done my shit too. There's nothing new. I mean, I've been in this shit. A lot of my friends were in gangs and shit like that. But I ran with them. We got into big ass fights. We got our asses whooped one time, boy.
By who?
Another gang. That was evidently with the shits.
We had a white guy named Basil that was with us.
Oh man, nothing good can come from it.
Right.
Nothing good can come from
it.
it.
A bunch of niggas is never the one that really.
Exactly.
Not good.
And he did the same thing. These dudes about to come, fight me. Y'all help? Of course we gonna help.
Y'all help the white
man. Basil was the white kid who was always in the black neighborhood.
Got you.
He was the black white kid.
Yeah, he was the
token.
white
black kid. Exactly.
Yeah, he was the token.
I got some white homeboys you don't want to fuck with though.
Right. And Basil wasn't no punk. He was a big dude. I wouldn't fight Basil.
Right.
And I was a black dude.
His name is Basil.
But anyway, he pulled up. We pulled up. It's like, okay, they got out the car. Fine. 4 or 5 of them. About 4 or 5 of us. Another car pulled up. Emptied out. Another car pulled up.
Oh.
These niggas got off the city bus.
That's dedication to fuck somebody up.
We fought St. Joseph High School, which is an all-boys Catholic high school.
Lord.
You bet this niggas out got juicy. We gotta get out of here.
Right.
This ain't good.
We gotta roll out. It's time for us to roll out.
I ain't no bitch, but it's 40 of these things.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I've been in the shit, but it didn't make me want to be a gangster,
Yeah.
Because I wasn't smart enough.
That's good. What about you?
I think the media, as far as the music, I guess it influenced the way you dress and stuff like that, but it really doesn't influence. Well, it has influenced me to make future decisions, like my career and stuff like that. Because I remember back when it was like the cross colors and
Oh, Lord.
8-ball jackets and stuff like that. Then,
all that. Yes,
then when the gangster rap came in, they switched to everything. It was a lot, but they really didn't influence you if you had some type of male figure to like put you back in place. Like,
right.
nah, you can do this.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you never felt pressure, even like with films and stuff like that. You never felt like pressure to do all of to be that guy.
Nah, I never had the peer pressure influence thing on me. I just kind of
go
my own path. Yeah,
that's
so,
good.
Yeah.
But that was because someone taught you to be that way.
Yeah,
it wasn't instinctively.
Yeah, I had like uncles or friends or examples. You seen people that's older than me,
right?
Path
Yes,
like
some
that they
OGs.
chose. Yeah, so I was like, nah, I'd rather go this route. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you fuck up. I know if I fucked up, I had to go home. I had to deal with my father, my grandfather,
right,
my uncles, and and the older cousins. Like, I ain't trying to fight all these. And my father and my uncles, they 3rd and 4th degree black belts.
Oh man.
Oh, man. Oh, they want to chop suey your ass real quick.
And in a small confined space, they gonna get busy. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I ain't move busy. I'll be in the house.
Right. My mother did not play that shit. Like, growing up, my mother, like, I was not allowed to touch the radio in the car. So, like, I had to listen to whatever she wanted to listen to.
Take me to the king.
Like, literally, I was woken up on Saturdays to gospel music, like, all of that stuff. Like, I was heavily influenced by my mother because my mother was like, fuck that. You live in my house. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Like, that's like literally,
basically,
that's literally what my mother was like. She's calmed down since then, but like growing up, my mother was.
She really?
No, she's way more lax now. Like, but growing up, my mother was not about that. Like, she would not let me listen to. It was some of it, but like she just didn't like the message behind it. A lot of it, stuff like that. So she didn't want me to be influenced by that, and I get it. So I would like have to listen to it on my own, or like my white friends would always have it because you know white people love our culture. So they would be like, Jamaal, have you heard the new like 50 Cent album? I'm like, no. Like my mother, like my mother won't let me buy it, and so like so they'd be like, oh, you got to listen to it. So yeah, my mother was not about that in terms of like music and stuff like that. But I also was kind of an old head because I liked the stuff my mom listened to, like Prince, Michael Jackson, Gladys Knight and stuff like that. So I'd be chilling. I'd be like, oh, okay, it's Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday morning weekend.
Right, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, we
clean the house day.
We listening to Fred Hammond. Like, it's literally how I was. Right. So I've never, you know me, I'm not like a big hip hop person. Like, if it's like the new stuff, I'll listen to it, but like they don't really talk about nothing anyway. Right. So I haven't really been influenced. And in terms of like television and movies and stuff like that, I never really saw anybody that kind of represented me because I was kind of like, I would rather just stay in the house and play video games. Right. And like, my mom would be like, oh, what do you want to do on a Saturday? I'd be like, can you take me to the arcade? And she'd be like, you don't want to go outside and play? I'd be like, nah, I'd rather just go to the arcade.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Right. Like, literally. And my mother would be like, well, you need to go outside and play Manhunt. And I'd be like, but I would rather go to the arcade. Right. So like, I was kind of like forced to do stuff like that. So I never like really saw stuff like that. So the media, like, but my mother was also very, very adamant and very, very honest. She would be like, this shit ain't real. Like, she would be like, this is a fantasy. You live in the real world and you live in my house. So this is what you're going to do. Like, when I tell you my mother was not with the shit, she was not with it. I looked at her sideways and I got slapped. So like, it was just like, I just wouldn't, it was just like, do I really feel like getting fought today? No, I'm just gonna, like, it's just like, and I'm not gonna fight her back. So I'm just like, well, I don't feel like getting beat today. So I'm gonna just mind my business. Right.
No, I don't think so. It's not worth it.
So the media hasn't really shaped me in that way because I could never like really see somebody that reflected who I was. Yeah. And because I always knew it wasn't real. So I'd be like, well, why do I want to aspire to be something that's not real?
Exactly.
That's kind of how I felt.
And speaking of that, like, do you guys feel like there has been enough positive Black role models, you know, with media, either growing up or now?
No.
You don't think
it's... definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
Well, especially if you look at, like, the news, like, just a Black person who's charged with the same crime as a white person, they always put up their mugshot versus a white person. They're like, oh, this person was so misunderstood. It's just like, it's like they did the same damn thing. Right. Like Brock Turner got
oh, that situation is
90 days
gross.
barely in prison.
And raping people.
Right. Mm-hmm. Behind a dumpster. Like, dirty, nasty.
Dirty.
So it's just like stuff like he's nasty. But it's just like,
anybody that rapes is nasty. How's that even a good nut? Like,
right.
I never understood it.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not fighting for the... What?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, and then in terms of like media, it's like, because I grew up in a single family home, so it's like watching the Cosbys, I was like, well, I can't relate. I don't got this. Like,
right. So even when you saw it, it still felt unattainable.
Right.
Wow.
I'm like, my daddy's out here, I don't know where he at. Like, he out here doing crazy shit. So like, this is nice that this is something that somebody else can have, or what they think we should have, but at the same time, you think we should have this, but yet you're still gonna try to throw me in jail for something I didn't even do. Like, that's kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah.
And even in the shows that we had, they weren't made by black people.
No.
Yeah.
It's not until recent that black people were making shows.
The good role models were still white folks trying to tell us how to be.
Wow. Yeah.
And it doesn't work. It was still a fantasy that's not true.
Yeah.
You know.
And it didn't inspire you? No?
I don't want to be inspired by the colonizers.
Yeah, I want to... No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Because I knew the difference. I think it's because I knew the difference. It just inspired me to be me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not to be something else.
Gotcha. What about y'all? No? Do y'all want to see more positive?
Yeah, like...
black men represented?
Yeah, of course. I mean...
But what would that look like?
I mean, you got shows like Blackish and stuff like that now that surfacing, but
I think Anderson's a little toxic for me as a father, but I get it.
I mean, but
which is crazy.
The crazy part about it is, to an extent, I can really relate to him as a father.
I can.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to put
his
children in a certain place.
I'm the same way. My shoes, my clothes, all that kind of shit. I'm materialistic a little bit.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? But
you work hard for your money.
I laugh and I joke differently with my kids. And when they do certain shit, I'm like, fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And so, the stage with the stage I am in my life now, like I said, I can relate to it. And then I watched the Black as Fuck, for example.
I still haven't seen them.
They are horrible fucking parents. Like, it's the dude that wrote it, but on the show, they are horrible fucking parents. I'm sitting looking at this shit like, I know this is supposed to be the realest example of the blackest shit. I'm looking like, but no. Dude, y'all are horrible fucking parents.
Right.
You and her are horrible fucking parents. Like, how are you treating these? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, y'all, like, what the hell is this shit? And, like, you got a wife. You see certain things. Like, she's feeling a certain type of way. She's not feeling appreciated or anything like that. I know with me, I may sound like a sucker to somebody, but I don't know, suck my dick, whatever.
Okay.
But if my wife is feeling a certain way, my wife feels a certain way and I notice it, I'm going to try to fix it. If I do something wrong and I fuck up, I have no problem saying, yo, I fucked up, my bad, I apologize. Right. So many men won't say to their woman, their wife, like, yo, I apologize, I fucked up. They want to carry the pride, like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. Like, nah, fuck that. If you fuck up, say you fucked up.
Right.
And move forward amicably. But if you can't do that shit, it's like, huh? You're not willing to put your feelings aside for the person that's, so they have your back? And if she can't do the same, it's like, then why are we even together?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm supposed to be able to be the most vulnerable with you.
Right.
You got my back and I got yours. That's how I did that shit. I was looking at that shit like, nigga, this shit, I know it's TV and all, but man, this is a horrible example. Yo, no, nigga, that ain't how real life works. Right. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want your shit to break up.
So, like I said, like, how do you think that would look like if we had more positive representation for not just for Black people, but for anyone in the world to see? What should that look like? For me, I love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I thought it gave a certain side of Black people with money and Uncle Phil and that relationship. I love the Cosby Show. I love Family Matters. I do love Blackish. Is it wrong for me to feel like we have all these fantasy shows? Not saying that Black people aren't educated and have good families, but would it be wrong to show the other side of what it means to be Black? Because I feel like when people write, they write from this, in order for Black people to succeed, they need to live in the suburbs, they need to be married, they need to have these certain things. Like, would it be wrong to see the other side of that? Or do you think that would take us a step back?
What you mean the other side? What side do you?
like being in the ghetto, like living in the hood, like understanding certain struggles, not necessarily just like The Wire, but something in between that. You know what I mean? Like being middle class, not necessarily rich, because all the shows we just named, they come from a place of money. So what is it like to be like, I don't say normal, but just like a middle class citizen? You go to a regular public school. Your mother doesn't drive a nice car. They're not doctors. They're just like blue collar workers.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that would be?
Yeah, I think we do need more diversity as far as the different, like you said, different levels that Black people are on, and the different things that we do. Because every financial bracket you in, your life is a little bit different. Like you said, the middle class, and the lower middle class
are different.
Completely different.
Two different worlds.
You know what I mean? And people don't even realize what. I think in the Black communities, people don't realize what middle class actually means. Because a lot of people that we think we're middle class, you're not.
No,
you're still lower class. Because they don't they don't know what the world actually defines it as, even in the financial situation. So you think you're middle class, and your father may make, if you have both parents in the house, they may have a combined income of $80,000 or close to $100,000. No, you're low class. Like, as far as the world goes. You know what I'm saying? And you're not, but you got everything you want. If there's no issues with anything, so you think that you live in, but the rest of the world sees you as still low class.
Right.
I think the other thing is just allowing more Black creatives to write the narrative. Is like, we don't have that. Like, all the shows we named were created by white people. Absolutely. They had black stars and stuff like that, and they had some input, but like, now we're starting to get like the Insecures and stuff like that. So that's like a great thing. Issa's not, she lost her job and like all this other stuff. So she's like middle class, trying to figure it out in her 30s, but she's living in Inglewood, which is being gentrified. So she's talking about the gentrification. So there are still Black people, but then she's also showing like the colonizers are coming. Basically, like, that's literally what she's showing. The colonizers are coming. That's literally what she's showing. Like, Inglewood used to be hood as fuck, and now it's like, when I was in Inglewood last year, I was driving through. I was like, this is pretty nice. I get why she's talking about this. Like, it makes sense. Like, I get why she wanted to have the block party. Like, it makes sense. So I think being able to show that, and just allowing more, like you were saying about the Emmys and stuff like that. Hopefully, more Black people can just tell actual real Black stories. Yes.
Yeah, it is getting better, because all we've actually seen is the Black version of white stories.
Right.
Yeah. We don't see
our version. Our version. The truth.
Of our real life.
Right. Yeah. You know, it's hard for people to know our plight, and you never walked in our shoes.
Well, you don't want to see it either.
No, you don't.
Because you love The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but that was written by a white person. You don't actually want to know what we're going through.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You've never, you think you know because of this beautiful painted white portrait, but you don't want to know the Black artist portrait. Like, you don't want to see that. You can't even begin to comprehend or wrap your mind around it.
Everybody wants to sausage, but don't want to see how it's made.
Right.
No, I really don't.
And I think we can still have good comedies that way, because we're funny as fuck.
Right. Obviously.
Like,
because we
just sitting here, we're funny as fuck.
Because if Black people actually just walked around and had the feelings that they have without laughing at shit, the country would have been burned the fuck.
That is true.
We gotta laugh at this shit.
Yep.
I mean,
we have to find a way.
We gotta find a way to get through this shit. Like, because
you know how many funerals I laugh at because Black people be funny?
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to find some sort of joy in the pain, because like, if you just sit there and wallow in pity, that shit's gonna eat you and destroy you. Yep. So it's like, you have to do something.
And that's how I know we're stronger than anybody else.
Right. It's like even like with the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor things, Black people have still been funny and creative in the midst of all these things. And yet, just seeing the resilience of us, even though we're still in so much pain and hurting, and we want all these injustices righted, but at the same time, we're just like, we gotta laugh. So like, let's do something to laugh. And we still gonna be funny, but we still gonna fight white people at the same time.
Right. The colonizers are coming.
Right. Like, literally.
No, I completely understand it. I just think that when you create a lens and you want people to see things, I feel like you can't see it if it's not coming from the most authentic place.
Right.
And I feel like it'll always be misconstrued, and it will have it just, for me, I just think that Black people should just have more control and power over everything. Because no one will truly understand. Like, I can't tell my story if Bob has to write it, because Bob doesn't know shit about being Black.
And I don't want Bob writing my fucking story. Fuck Bob.
Yeah, fuck Bob.
Right. It's small things like white people will never understand why we go to certain Chinese places because we know what area the food came from and how good it is. You can't go to what's the one at Towson Mall, the chain one.
PF Chang? Oh,
Yeah.
child, please.
Hoof chains? I hate
I
we don't call
lie
it.
to you. I do like them PF with chain sticky ribs. Them ribs are alright.
It's not that it's not good, but you know, if you go down West Washington Street, you know, you gonna find
I can get the same thing for a much cheaper price.
All I know is I can't go in the mall and get no yakami. I know that. Extra egg, extra shrimp everything.
And I had no idea what that was until I came to Baltimore. Like, what the fuck?
I still don't.
You won't find yakami in no other city in the United States.
I still don't know what yakami is.
You go to any city in the United States and ask for yakami.
I don't know what yakami is. You're not alone, Jamaal.
It is all straight Baltimore. What'd you say?
I don't know what yakami is.
I don't know that.
Is it the same as egg foo young?
No, it's not. Jesus Lord. It's udon noodles. It's a thick udon noodles.
Oh, I like udon.
With the egg and the gravy and the onions.
Nope.
Or ketchup.
Ketchup?
I've seen people put ketchup.
Yeah, I've seen it. And it's fucking rude. It's inappropriate.
I don't get it.
You get your yakami, shrimp and beef.
It doesn't sound like anything I want to be a part of.
You eat out the box.
The box?
No, the box?
You have to eat.
The box of what?
You don't put it
like a cardboard box?
You don't put yakami on the plate or on the bowl. You eat yakami out the box.
Like the white box? The
Box?
pink
Yeah.
box? Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know
like
what
the
box.
brown box. I was like,
You eat yakami out the box. You eat yakami out the box.
And that's being
You
black.
can get a real fork. You know what I'm saying?
no, I get the chopsticks.
The chopsticks.
Oh, man.
Not with gravy and it's gonna
But
be
it's
so
true.
slippery.
Yeah.
That is not
I
something
mean,
I
you
think.
can do it, I guess. I mean, but
It's going to take a
it's
long
not
time.
going to be the same.
It ain't so.
It ain't the same.
So as black men, do you guys feel like there's a space where you guys can unapologetically be yourself and or in society? Because I feel like black men, like, y'all are taught to be so strong, but your feelings and thoughts don't matter. Like, y'all are taught to be like protectors and warriors, but what about your feelings and crying and being able to show some sense of sensitivity? No space for that.
I don't feel no space to be sensitive in this world.
None?
Not outside the house, no.
Not at all.
I can laugh and joke, and I must still be me regardless in the streets, but ain't no.
Why do you think that is?
You can't be sensitive as a black man in the street.
Why?
The world don't allow for that. In my 40 years, the world don't allow for you to be sensitive in the street. You don't.
agree?
I agree that the world doesn't want it. I think it's wrong, and it sucks
No, it's
that,
definitely
and I
wrong.
think it sucks that that's
Yeah.
the label, and that's what we have to do. And I think that's like, you know, it. I wish we could be vulnerable. I wish we could wear our emotions not on our sleeves, but be like, if we have a bad day, like, we can just be like, I remember when I was at work, like, there would just be days like when I would just be tired, and they'd be like, Jamaal, you're not like your jovial self today. Is everything okay? I'd be like, yeah, I'm just tired. They'd be like, oh, okay. Like, why does it matter? Like, I'm just tired. I'm not doing anything to bother you.
It's the equivalent of a man telling a woman, why you not smiling today?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That feeling y'all get when you're like, nigga, I don't want to smile.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah, man, like,
which both
Everything
are wrong.
is not meant to smile.
Exactly.
about.
But you're just like, and I just remember at work, I'd be like, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, 5 different people coming to me. I'd be like, yo, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I'm literally just working today.
Right.
Like, I'm minding my business. I'm still getting paid. I'm still doing your job.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I think it's wrong. But yeah, there's.
But how do we create a space for you, especially as a black woman? You know, I want to create a space for my friends or my significant other, well, both actually, to feel comfortable to be in their black, authentic skin, to feel like their voice matters and they're not just an autopilot and being in this primal mode all the time and not being in survivor mode and start living. So how can we create a space for y'all? So y'all can thrive and be y'all natural black self?
I don't have that answer.
If I did have that answer, I'd be richer than a mother.
I don't, because we still have that in us. Like, if you try to show your emotions, even to a woman, you have the. How do I want to say it? The image of black women that we see on TV right now is so negative.
Right, absolutely.
It's so toxic and negative. There's no way any man in his right mind feels comfortable opening up to those kind of stereotypes. And you feel like you're going to be judged on how you're feeling. And that's such a fucked up feeling. I hate to say it again, but you can't feel how you want to feel. You can't feel how you're feeling, not how you want to feel, how you're actually feeling. It's just fucked up. Like, a couple months ago, like, I had the fucking Rona.
He's running free, guys.
Yeah. As I said months ago. It was months ago. And the fucked up part is...
Y'all niggas 6 feet, y'all. Don't look
right.
at me. I'm fucking with you.
Let me swing my mic this way. But, I had to actually take care of me and my wife while we're both damn near dying. But it's instilled in me that I had to be strong enough to be. I'm just as sick as she is. Right. Same symptoms. Be strong, and I got to take care of her. And there is no place where you can't be that way. Not for us.
What you think, Carl?
I think it starts early. Pretty much when in the household. Like, if you're not taught how to express yourself, sorry to cry,
stop all that
certain
crying.
Things, instead of being taught that the world is hard and stuff like that, it's going to come across a certain way, but you always got to be tough.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it starts early.
Definitely in the black households. Stop all that crying.
Yeah.
You need to cry.
Yeah. Let that shit out, nigga. Because that's how you get serial killers and people that beat on women and beat on people. Yep. They don't have any outlets for them to express themselves in a way.
Stop calling little kids soft boys and stuff like that. Right. Let them feel.
And see, for me, that's how I knew I found the person I want to be with. My wife is because I was able to be completely vulnerable with her. And it was no judgment, no other bullshit. No, like, it's just soft ass. Like, I was able to actually let all my guards down, just relax and be like whoever the fuck I wanted to be. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is what this feels like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a great feeling. Like, if you've never been able to be completely just yourself with someone else, like, it's a fucking amazing feeling. Yeah. So when I walk out of the house and I know I gotta have on like motherfucking 10 inches of armor. Yeah. Or black armor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And looking at everybody else like, yo, these motherfuckers have to get me. All right, so do this. And be able to go back home and be able to take all that off and actually be completely naked and vulnerable to people that's in the house. That's a great feeling. Yeah. But it is annoying, too, that you, like you said, you can't walk out into the world and just be who you are. Yeah. No reality. It's like, just because you're not only because you're black, because if you black and gay, or if you black but you grew up in a white neighborhood, I mean, it's all different kinds of stigmatism they got to deal with. It's like, fuck, I just can't be me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the fuck.
I would watch stories like that, more stories like that. We need, which what we were saying before, we need black real stories. Yes. Everybody didn't grow up, in Compton. Right. Everybody didn't have a lawyer.
Still look lit though, because they had palm trees in the hood. That was lit.
Exactly. I know. We still talk about that. Like, y'all got a different type of ghetto. It's pretty. Right.
Birds is chirping, everything.
I think that's what will create the space. We need real stories.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to, I think we polarize it on these different sides of the spectrum. It's like either you're significantly rich and you go to private school and life is great and you have like these Caucasian issues, and then you're like dirt fucking poor. You gotta sell. There's no middle ground. Right. You're in the streets. Your mother on drugs. She's shooting up heroin. You can't even read your
Daddy's
textbook.
A pimp, like
Daddy's in jail or dead somewhere, and it's like, where's the middle ground for us to really share our stories and understand, like, hey, like we do experience both sides of these things, but there's a gray area that is completely dismissed. I personally think that not just with white people, but black people are going to have a hard time. They're going to feel very triggered and attacked to understand that all this shit that was taught to them needs to be unlearned.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be very upset when they say, for example, when a boy cries and say, like, stop crying. that is an emotional and physical response to pain.
Your body is supposed to do that.
Like, your body is supposed to do that.
Yeah. Right.
That's like telling a child, like, stop growing your feet and I'm going to bind them up like the Chinese. Like, it's a natural effect that your body is responding to. I also, believe that, do as you're told, but don't do as I do. And it's like, a lot of Black families do not like to understand. Me and Jamaal was talking about this earlier, that they don't like to be challenged. Children doesn't have a place of identity. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that your children have to be disrespectful, because I do believe in popping them.
Right.
But if they have a question, why can't...
It's not talking back.
It's not talking back.
Exactly.
If I ask why, who the fuck you talking to? I said what I said. I understand that, but your child is trying to understand what is happening so they can understand the process.
Yeah.
They're inquisitive.
Yes.
How are they supposed to learn if you're not willing to teach them?
Now, if you tell this kid, quit coming in the kitchen, why? Because all you have to do, because you look like your dad. You look like your damn
Goddamn dad. What?
But it's simple, just saying because.
My fault, bitch. You mad? It's your fault.
It is.
You made your own mistake.
It is simple, just saying because this pot is hot, and if you hit it, you'll burn your skin.
Right.
Say less. I'm being
That's all we need to know.
Right.
But it's like you said, it's like talking back.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's all. But you know what? I was raised. I grew up with country grandmothers, and they ain't play that shit. No talking back.
Mm-hmm.
It's all also in your tone and how you
right.
How you
yes.
say something.
It is.
Can you ask your question? What's your question? Why I can't come in?
Mm-hmm.
Because, all right, cool. Now, I go back in there and she done told me to sit my ass down, don't come back in, and she explained to me, you
get fucked up.
Right.
Yeah, you chose to make those decisions.
Yep.
You took the risk.
You
took the risk.
About to catch these hands.
And these are still derivatives from slavery.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's all it is, because they were taught you can't talk back to the masters.
That's true. And pain is a hell of a motherfucking reminder.
Yep.
Yes, that's how, that's how they train us. That's how you are conditioned. And the one thing I can say about white people, they understand the psychological plight of being able to control someone with conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they also get killed by their kids a lot too, though.
I mean, true, but they still run. They still run the world. So
I guess you're right.
Yeah, they still understand like what that means. Until this day, we're still struggling and suffering because of the mental aspect of what they did to us, more so than the physical. We can heal physically, but how are we healing mentally?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we have to go through. But I definitely think these stigmas, especially for Black boys, it makes me very uncomfortable. My family's gonna be very upset when I say this, but like my cousin wouldn't let my cousin dance because she didn't want him to be gay, and I was like, I don't know how dancing is equivalent to being gay.
I used to cut a rug. I'm popular, show this shit.
And it wasn't like, I mean, even if he wanted to do ballet, I think it's beautiful.
Why now see, the other shit is, why would she equate being gay with dancing?
That's what I'm asking.
That's the craziest shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Anything that looks feminine, and I'm saying that in air quotes, Black people automatically feel threatened, especially when it comes to Black boys. But it wasn't like he was twerking and trying to do handstands, and even that's what he wanted to do. I mean, I think that's inappropriate because that's from a stripper. I don't think children should dance like that, male or female. But if he wanted like Chris Brown, crunk it out, break dance, like it's a gift. Not everybody can do that. But once again, it's that stigma of one, keeping up with the Joneses, worrying about what other people got to say, and this level of what is masculine and what is feminine when it comes to Black children and Black men. It's so many do's and don'ts, but like, where are these do's and don'ts coming from?
Right.
Like, who makes the rules?
Right. You're right.
Who's the rule maker?
Yeah.
The whites. I don't understand. Like,
Which is still a crazy trick to even pull that shit off.
Yes.
It's the brilliance of racism.
The brilliance.
White people are a global minority, and these motherfuckers run
everything.
How the fuck, man? We need to get this shit. Fuck these niggas, man. It's nuts. They're a global minority, but we let these motherfuckers run so much of this shit.
Yes.
Money.
Yeah.
And power.
Fucking motherfuckers are scared. Yeah. They've mentally fucked us up.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
they're great at some psychological shit real quick. Fucking mind up real quick.
Like,
they got us hating light-skinned people and dark-skinned people just because they put somebody in the house and left somebody outside.
Yeah.
Like, that was 500 years ago, and we are still struggling with colorism. So
the shit that gives everything else in the life in the world hurts them. The sun is great.
Don't get me started.
And it kills these motherfuckers. Right. You see what I'm saying? It burns them like these motherfuckers ain't right. That's just nature saying like, you know these motherfuckers ain't right. You know they.
I have a lot of theories, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't need my engineer's eyes peeking at me right now.
You know what I'm saying? I go outside, get like, it's gonna be nice outside today.
Yeah.
You know, like, I put this shit on.
So when you deal with white men, do you automatically feel triggered even when they're being respectful or not?
I don't trust shit a white man say to me. I don't trust shit a white man say to me. Everything he said, everything a white man says to me, I second guess. Everything. I try to analyze every single syllable coming out of his face.
Not the syllables.
Nah, I don't trust shit a white man say to me. I'm sorry. I do not.
Does everyone feel the same way about this?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't trust shit he said.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
I've seen it so many times. I don't. Yeah.
I'm semi-different. Most white people I just don't trust. I'm just like, nah, we're good over here.
Right.
I'm good over here in holiness. Don't bother me. But I will say that with the rise of Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, there have been people from high school who have reached out to me because I was the token black kid. Mm-hmm. But and specifically white men, and one of my friends said to me from high school, he said, I've always wanted to have this conversation with you. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I didn't know how to bring it about.
Right.
How can he literally came to me, he said, I'm a white male. I don't understand, but yet I have all the power. I didn't ask for this. How can I use this power to help you and other black people? And I was like, shit. I was like, okay, let's unpack this. So I think from that, because he said something to me and I've seen his actions and I've seen the way he talked, he actually listens instead of actually like interjecting and like interrupting, and he actually wants to hear about my experiences and other experiences and stuff like that. So he is like an anomaly, I guess. But most white people I don't trust. But I will say there has been some change, and I think, like you said, there's the awakening now and stuff like that. I don't know why it took 401 years, but you know, it's crazy,
progress.
Right?
They don't believe this shit is real,
right? Exactly. You don't believe it's real, but like, it still happened. Like it's documented. Like it's just it is real. Right. Stop. I'm not going to tell you that what you've been through isn't real. So why are you going to tell me what I've been through isn't real? Like, I just, so most white people, like 99% of them, no. There's like that anomaly. But, you know, like, especially being in corporate America, I've seen them do some fuck shit.
Absolutely.
I've seen them pull some shit and try to come for me or blame me for something. And I'm like, I got email receipts. Like,
child.
I'm here. I'm Reed Rita. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's, the whites. The colonizers are coming.
Like, the colonizers are coming. I feel like I should make a, like, bell or something.
Definitely.
Like Paul Revere. Just get a horse and just...
They've been here.
The new ones, I guess. The new and improved ones. So, for y'all, like, me and Jamaal were talking about this earlier, and this is going to be... Jamaal, thank you. I hate you. And this is actually a little bit sensitive because we actually experienced this last night. I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. I'm not going to name the name. If you hear this, I'm very disappointed in you and you need help.
Damn.
And it's critical for me because I love all Black lives. So if you are a person that loves Pokemon, anime, if you are a person that loves hip-hop, if you are gay, if you are trans, if you are questioning, I don't care. You're Black, you're important, you matter. And I wanted to have this conversation about having all Black lives matter because it looks like it's convenient to some Black people. Because although we fighting for George Floyd, we still have trans people that are being murdered by Black people. Right. We still have gay men dying and being murdered from Black people. So when we talk about Black lives mattering, it goes across all boards. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I don't care what your job is. You know, your life matters.
You can't pick and choose which Black life matters.
You cannot. Right. And so I wanted to talk to you guys. Like,
can we really?
There's some niggas I don't like.
I mean, I'll block you, but I'll still fight for the right for your life.
Right. You have a...
Depends.
You can be a Candace Owen and we still don't like you, but like if you're discriminated against, we can still be like, that's wrong, but you're also fake as fuck for everything you've done.
Right.
If you rape people, fuck your life.
Well, I mean, you just need to be in prison.
Well,
No, fuck your life.
Right, and that's why you're going to be in prison.
Fuck your life. Like, we don't need that one. You know what I'm saying? This one,
But the person who is raping somebody doesn't need to be killed on the street doesn't need to be killed on the street by the police. That's what the legal system is quote unquote for. Not saying it always works perfectly.
Not at all.
Right, because it doesn't work for us. But
Batman.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm not Batman. I'm all about killing motherfucking things.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't kill.
Yeah, I'm all about
So you're the Joker?
Yeah.
No, the Joker's crazy as fuck.
Yeah, well, he had his motives in some way.
He could be the Punisher.
Ooh.
He could definitely be the Punisher.
The Punisher.
Yeah,
Punisher will kill everybody.
Kill everybody. He didn't give one fuck. So how do we go about that? Because I'm just gonna talk about this situation. Are you okay with it?
Sure, go for it.
Me and Jamaal were out last night. We had a great fucking time. Whatever. And unfortunately, I ran into somebody that I used to know, and he pulled me to the side.
You no longer know him?
No. He's dead. He's fucking dead to me.
Okay.
Funeral was last night.
2:01 a.m. Something like that. DOA.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he pulled me to the side and let me know that he was uncomfortable with Jamaal. And I was like, why? And he's like, I'm not used to being around guys like that. And I'm like, light skin? He's like, no. I'm like, gay? And he's like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable. And I was like, that's personal. And why are you uncomfortable? Like, did he do anything to disrespect you or offend you? Did he hit on you? He says, no. And I'm like, well, what are we talking about? Like, what are we here for? And that was the first strike. And so he was like, just work with me. Like, I'm just letting you know I'm not comfortable. I'm like, oh, whatever. Later on that night, he decided to make his presence known. I did not want his presence to be known, but whatever. I had two of my other gay black friends. We had some Merlot and a coffee cup to go, because that's how we live in our lives in this COVID.
Merlot and coffee cup to go.
That's what they were doing.
That's an interesting talk.
That's what the restaurant had. And so he pulled me to the side again. He had his drink. And mind you, we've all been drinking. I had copious amounts of alcohol the entire day. And he pulled me to the side again, and he says, why didn't you tell me it's going to be 3 black gay men? And I was like, I didn't know I had to specify that. But I did give you a disclaimer. I said, I'm going to be around more gay people. I just didn't give you the numeric equation. Like, I just said, hey.
Yeah, this gay people. I'm my quote today. It's 1. I can't do 3. 2 is a little iffy.
But 3 is the cutoff.
Out of the question. Not do 3 gay dudes at one time?
Yeah. It was,
whoa, what?
Exactly. And so we were leaving. And so I'm defending my friend. I've known Jamaal for a very long time. He's one of my closest, dearest, bestest friends. And I don't tolerate that type of foolishness. So I cursed him all the way the fuck out. I was taking too long, so Jamaal made his presence known. And
you said his name.
I said Jamaal made his presence known. No.
Yeah. My bad. I'm picking up.
No.
Like, you said his name.
Jamaal made his presence known as me and this guy's argument. I wouldn't call it conversing. It was an argument. And he says to Jamaal, he says, hey, can I be honest with you? Because she's going to go back and tell you what happened in the car. I'm like, you damn motherfucking right. I'm going to tell him what's going on in the car because it's about him. Right. Why are we talking about his gayness? Why does that make you uncomfortable as a black man? And I specifically said, have you been touched? Because a lot of niggas who are homophobic, unfortunately, have gone through some traumatic situation. And I'm absolutely so sorry for the people who hear this and it triggers the fuck out of you. But get the fucking help that you need. It is 2020. What people do in their sex life is none of my motherfucking business. It pays me no money. Right. It doesn't affect my credit score. It doesn't devalue the person. It makes absolutely zero fucking sense. And when Jamaal, do you want to explain the rest?
Huh? He basically, he basically told me that he was uncomfortable, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And I basically told him I didn't give a fuck, basically, in the nicest way possible. But I was just like, why does it matter when I haven't done anything for you? And I said, but I was drunk. You take it over. What happened?
That's fine. Jamaal literally says, I don't understand why I have to explain my gayness to you. And I'm existing in this space. Not only do I have to explain myself to white people about me being a black man, I also have to explain myself to black men what it means to be a black gay man. And on top of that, I still have to fight for black rights for you as a heterosexual male. So why are we doing this? And so it was really frustrating for me, even though I'm a black woman. Like I said, that's my friend. But I think a lot of times when we talk about Black Lives Matter, unfortunately, it's subdivided in so many ways. Like, oh, Black Lives Matter because the girls are pretty. Black Lives Matter because this was my homeboy down the street. Like, no. Like, it doesn't matter if you are gay, if you are straight, if you are queer, if you are trans, if you are whatever. Like, you're black and that's it. Period. Like, I shouldn't have to keep explaining myself. And like, I was being very petty. And I told him, I said, half of the basketball team that you were on engaged in gay sexual behavior. And he was outraged. And I'm like, well, what difference does it make? Did they holler at you? Did y'all still win championships?
I carry it as, like, if you're gay, fine. You ain't trying to suck my dick.
That's it.
Whatever you do is do what you do. I don't give a fuck. I mean, what you do, like you said, behind closed doors, you ain't hurt nobody. I don't give a fuck about. All I want to know is you cool? All right, you funny? All right, cool. Have a seat.
Exactly.
And even if you are hit on by, if you're not gay, you're hit on by a gay male.
Appreciate it. No, thank you.
That's the simple answer. That's it.
Not my thing, buddy.
I mean, that's the same way if you get hit on someone you're not attracted to.
Yep.
You know, as an opposite sex. That's it. It's over.
I think
Why does it have to go on?
One of the frustrating things, and I said this yesterday, but I also said, being black just in general, we constantly have to litigate our existence in this world. Yeah, right. And so now I'm litigating my existence with white people, but now I'm having to relitigate my existence with you as a black man when we're on the same fucking team, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, why am I fighting why am I fighting a fight on two fronts?
Right.
Why do this?
Right.
Because right now, if the police were to gun you down, I would still be out here fighting for your life. Absolutely. But would you be out here fighting for my life if I got gunned down?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
And I think that's the issue, is that just, it's very, very annoying. And I've seen a lot of people on the internet, especially, straight black men, which is fine. It's not fine. But when something happens to a black person who's gay, they're silent.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, because they're still black and it was still wrong.
Yeah.
But because you didn't agree with their lifestyle, I don't agree with your lifestyle if you have 5 baby mamas, but who the fuck cares?
Right.
I do, niggas not, yeah.
Right, but
but
I'm just saying.
If nigga got 5 baby mamas, he ain't taking care of all them kids, so it means this should come out my taxes, man. I'm gonna need you to relax.
Right, but I have
more problem with you.
I have no heaven or hell to put you in.
Right.
So stop condemning me when I'm not condemning you.
Yeah, you start condemning them though. I mean, if they got 5 baby mothers, you're talking to them.
I'm not condemning them, because I just be like, you don't know how to put a condom on and leave it on.
I guess, well, as I got older, and then, like, when you're young, you're around people, certain people, your peers, they like, man, that gay shit. So you say certain shit, you do something, but as I got older, I look like that shit ain't bothering me. And if you're looking for another dude, that means more pussy out here for me.
Exactly. It's space. It's more space. It's more space.
It's more these for me to fuck.
It's
I'm
more
cool.
space.
I ain't got to worry about you. I stay over there. Do you?
We definitely need to unlearn a lot of these behaviors. I know I've said this multiple times, but I just think it's true. And unfortunately, black people have operated out of this space of surviving, and we're just now getting to some form of space where we can live, where we can vacation, where we can create, where we can express. And we're not used to this territory. So we still have, like, old habits die hard. But
if you don't realize, slavery really wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't.
and
my great grandmother, who I knew and who was in my life actively, was a cotton picker.
Right.
Like, literally can tell me about her experiences of making 25 cents a day and how she had to pick cotton for almost 18 hours a day in Georgia heat. So it's not that long ago if I can talk to someone who literally experienced that life.
In Georgia and South Carolina, that's a different kind of heat.
Right.
Yes.
That's a different kind. I ain't never felt no shit.
No, it's you're 100% right. Like, we don't understand. And I was telling the white friend of mine who is the white male who is more open, and I told him, I said, the Voting Rights Act for black people was passed in the 60s. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was born in the 40s. She was born without the right to vote.
Yes.
In the 40s.
Yes.
My mother was born in 1960. It didn't pass till 65. My mom was born without the right to vote.
Yeah.
Like, what part? That's one generation away. Right. Like, so you're making it seem like this shit is far away. Like, it's not.
Get over these nuts. Right. What you talking about?
But the same people, like my mom not having the right to vote, your parents were alive then and your grandparents were alive again, and they were teaching you that toxic behavior. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me this shit didn't exist when it's been existing this entire time. It's not that long
ago. And it's
ago.
being passed down, you know, through the lineage. And
it's definitely taught.
Right. It's definitely taught. And, you know, you definitely want to educate yourself. And that's what I told that gentleman yesterday. I said, if you are uncomfortable, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to be uncomfortable. You do have the right to educate and arm yourself to be equipped around these type of people, because gay people are here to stay. They're not going away. It's not
they've
been
here.
Right. They've been here the entire time. In plain sight, out of sight, it doesn't matter. They've been here. You know, and I was just very, very frustrated. And he kept saying, I don't want to have this conversation. I don't want to have this conversation. So I'm like, you want to be in ignorance. Not only are you uncomfortable, you're also comfortable being ignorant, being discriminatory.
Ignorant.
And you're okay with that. But then you get offended when I say, you are a homophobe. You are. Like, flat the fuck out.
You did. He's textbook definition of it.
Like, literally pulled me over 3 times and was like, you know, I ain't used to being around niggas like this. I'm like, well, what's that mean? Like, what kind of niggas? Like, what kind of people? You know, so it was really baffling to me to have this conversation in 2020. I've never in my life been in this type of situation where I had to educate, or he wasn't trying to be educated, or even just have the conversation about why black gay space need to exist and how you need to get the fuck over it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never, and it was a culture shock for me, because I'm like, look at how far we come, especially for black gay people. I mean, Jamaal, I can't speak to all of it, but I know that there has been some progression. Right. But at the same time, it's like, how in 2020, how are we here?
Right. There's some progression, and then there's some regression as well too. Every step forward, there's always several steps back. So it's annoying, but like we say, like, the black LGBT experience is so much worse than the white ones. That's why the suicide rate is up 3 or 4 times than that of their white counterparts. The LGBT movement was for white people. It didn't include us, even though we fought for it.
The feminist movement has nothing to do with
and black women
women.
Black women were fighting for it.
We're
always excluded.
Always.
The other funny shit about it is, like you said, dudes be talking about they don't fuck with gay people, but these same niggas always want a threesome. That's two women being gay with you. So are you with or you not with gay?
But why is it comfortable when it's for you? Like,
So it's like.
And then it's like you.
But if you're homophobic and you think the gay people are hitting on you, but guaranteed, I bet you women don't really want you either. So why are you upset?
Because I didn't want that man.
Because, like, if you think the gay people are checking for you, I guarantee you a gay person doesn't want you, especially. If a gay person doesn't want you, I know the women don't want you either. So you get no play from either side.
Yeah. And I think
so. You're miserable and lonely and horny at the same time.
I can't get no dick or no buns.
Right. Like you over here.
You can't get nobody.
You over here.
You can't get nothing on nobody.
Dry in the desert, and that's okay. Be dry in the desert and miserable by yourself.
Yes, but I definitely, like I said, I was very uncomfortable, and I really didn't. It kind of really blew my mind. So the only thing I could express myself was just pure rage. I was so angry, and I had a lot of tequila in my system, but I was very, very angry because I'm like, why are we doing this?
I was so calm. I'm so proud of me.
I'm very proud of you. I'm sort of proud of me. I didn't do nothing bad to him, but
you punched him.
Oh, I did. But yeah, he still got his teeth and stuff. So, but I was definitely very offended, because to me, I don't look at Jamaal as a gay man. I just see him as my black best friend. And that is it, and that is all. What he
Who's
does...
your white best friend? Who's your white best friend?
I don't think I got any white best friends.
So why do you specify that he has to be your black best friend?
Well, no. I'm saying, like, he's a black person in my life. If I have a white friend, I would say I have a white friend. I don't really have white friends, but I might. I don't know. I have a lot of Asian friends. But
yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
I do. See?
Asians are niggas. I don't care what they say. They're niggas. I love Asians.
I do too. That's why I have so many. But I'm just saying, like, as far as understanding who people are and not what people are. Like, his character means more to me than what he does in the bedroom. I don't give a fuck about that.
I don't give a fuck what he does in the bedroom.
Yeah, like, it doesn't, it's nothing.
What you do in the bedroom?
Right. I hope not. But... but I just think that we just need to incorporate more black love. And when I say black love, I don't necessarily mean relationship with your significant other, but relationship within your community. And start really expressing that. And I know it's hard for y'all because we just talked about being sensitive and things of that nature, but like, we have to create a sense of brotherhood, you know, with all communities. And I feel like, unfortunately, we're not there yet, you know. We need to come together as one, as a real unit. And
it is policing our own people. You know, we need to police our own people.
Yeah.
Like, if homeboy is like, no, dude is gay.
Okay.
And
yeah, your point.
Let him be gay. And
yeah.
roll on.
Because he's still going to be gay.
Right.
Right.
My question is, are you? You want to hook you up?
Right, y'all sharing the same cup? What do you want? What do you want me to do?
Want me to dish you? Sign his number?
Right.
Like,
you got friends?
Is there a reason you're saying this to me?
It is up to us to include everybody.
Yes, we definitely need to include
but you know what's crazy, though? I mean,
what?
I've never had any issues with a gay dude. Only issues I've ever had with somebody being gay was I've had issues with doms.
I can't.
Only because not because they gay. Don't rub on me like you tough. Leave me alone. I'm not bothering you. At the end of the day, you still a woman. If I bang you in your mouth, I'm the bad guy. Nobody's gonna say all the aggression that you came to me with. I am not bothering you. You can be gay, fine, but don't run up on me like you tough. Because I mean, if walk like a duck, talk like a duck, thought was a duck. Yeah, I mean, so I popped her. I mean, I didn't know it was a girl.
Oh my God!
I didn't know it was a girl at the time. I did not know it was a girl today. You want to be with me with your breast strapped down and everything, and that's fine. That's your life. Do what you want to do. Do what makes you happy. But don't walk up on me like you tough.
So you didn't know that was a woman?
No.
Oh, okay.
Until like, yo, that's a girl. Shit, my bad. I didn't know.
Oh my God, I cannot.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm dead serious. I mean,
I don't even want to know why you think the nigga popped
next
up.
episode. Merlot and coffee cups together.
No,
my Merlot was very good.
Shit. Do not do that shit. Just chill out. Just do you. I don't care about your life. Do you, but don't run up on me with all this.
Dedrick's issues with
No, I don't even have an issue with the community. Just certain people that run up on me like, don't do that shit. If you run up on somebody like that and then they assume that you do something else, and they do something to you, and then you want to pull this card out, so I'm a girl. Nigga, 5 minutes ago, you was real gangster.
You can still be gangster.
No, you can't still be gangster. You know what I'm saying? Your muscle mass definition.
I cannot.
It is not the same.
I can't.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't do this.
No, I'm just like.
I know you are, but no.
Like I said, be gay, do you. Have at it. You know what I'm saying? But just don't do shit to get yourself fucked up.
Okay.
That's just with everybody.
Yes, that goes for everyone.
That's for everybody. Like, don't do that shit. I've never.
Black or not.
I don't have a problem with you being gay. I don't care about you being gay.
Pull up respectfully.
Said, act up, you can get snatched up.
Real quick.
Nice.
Period, poo. So for our last question before we close out, I want we can go around the table. What is the one thing you want people in America to truly understand about being a black man? Like, what advice could we give? What are some of the things you want? Like, how can we progress to have more inclusion in this space? Well, in y'all space, because I'm not a man, but
I need you to look at me as a fellow human and not what you perceive to be black. Because little do you know, everything else around you was created by blacks. And everything you have wouldn't be there if it wasn't for us. So you need to look at me as what I really am. I'm better than you.
That might be true.
I feel him. I'm on the same shit he on. I mean, and at the end of the day, I bleed just like you bleed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, I'm probably better than you. And that's what scares the shit out of you.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
Just give me the same respect I give you.
Mm.
You know.
Isn't it crazy though? That's all. Even this whole Black Lives Matter. That's all we've asked.
They did everything but what we asked.
Exactly. We didn't ask about Aunt Jemima coming off the.
We asked for these yellow big robes. We didn't ask for none of this.
All we
But it's
want
just
is
crazy
exactly the same
that
that you
shit
treat
has
everybody
just been
else.
rocking for so long and nobody has said nothing about it.
Nope.
That's how numb we are.
My mom wouldn't let us have Uncle Ben or Aunt Jemima. She was like, fuck them. She was like, they're racist. So we never had it in the house.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm mad about the Goya shit than the goddamn Uncle Ben shit.
Yeah,
no, you gotta use the other adobo, con pimienta. That's my shit.
Mm,
The Barilla.
Okay, got you.
There's another.
Learn
Yeah, they're actually a Latin-owned company.
When you shop at Aldi's, we don't know nothing about that. That's Wegman shopping.
Wegman, sir.
That's Wegman shopping.
No, Wegmans is a blessing.
Whole Foods.
Wegmans is definitely a blessing.
Wegmans is a blessing.
What about you, Jamaal?
Shit, there's so much. Throughout the 401 years, because 1619, that's when y'all brought us over here against our will. We black people do not have a track record and a history of being the aggressors. We have always been the bigger people, especially black men, and we have turned the other cheek. So within this last 100 years where you're trying to paint us as the villains and stuff like that, go do your research. Black men have always been the victims. Black people have always been the victims by the systemic racism and the systemic oppression of our people. So you need to just do your history and understand that literally all we want is equality and not revenge.
That's it.
Period.
That's it.
That's what we've been asking for, because if we wanted revenge, oh Jesus.
Baby.
You
thought
Jesus.
Django was bad.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I want a little bit of revenge.
Right, I mean, but we're entitled to want revenge.
Yes.
I want a little bit.
But
Yes.
but white people are so afraid that we will do to them what they've done to us, and we have not.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
That's the absolute problem.
Because they really are the petty ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
They would, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would want everything done to us that we did to them.
Absolutely.
And we're not doing that. We're just like, we want the police to be held accountable. Oh, but we painted Black Lives Matter. That's not what we fucking asked for.
Yeah.
Didn't ask for that at all.
Didn't ask for that.
Didn't ask for that. Aunt Jemima, black people don't use her anyway.
Right.
So Uncle Ben, we make our own fucking rice.
Exactly.
Like the Spanish
Right, I don't
people
even
and the
like
Asian
rice.
people. Like, right. Like, we're not asking for
I've
this
never
shit.
had mini rice in my house.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't use minute rice.
Yeah.
You put it in the fucking pot and boil it.
And then if you can't make rice, I'm judging you.
Right.
You can't make rice, dog?
I don't like rice though.
The fuck is wrong with you?
He
not a
can
rice
make it. I
person.
hope you make
Spanish
rice.
rice, you got the seasons, man. You just got like plain ass Asian rice. I can't.
White rice, you
Why
put stuff
rice
on
gotta
it.
be Asian?
So you don't like Asians?
Wait, what?
But
You racist. a little bit.
Asians use brown rice too.
Yeah. Like,
We're gonna have to edit that out.
Yo, I just discovered this shit like this year that white people be eating all this time called farro.
What's
That
that?
shit's fire, dude.
Is that pigeon?
It's like brown rice. It's called farro. That shit's
Is that pigeon?
I just never heard of that before.
Yeah, no, like
squab is good. You ever had squab?
No,
Couscous is
sir.
alright,
No,
too.
sir.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, some person of color came up with it.
It
And now
had
they're
to be.
eating it.
Well,
You don't know pigeons were brought here in the United States as to be eaten.
Yeah, it was.
no.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I believe it.
Yeah,
They
we-
ran
Yeah,
to the
pigeons,
wings.
pigeons were brought to the United States to be eaten.
On the boats, Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria.
Squab.
You learn something new every day, folks.
What have you learned?
But I just want to appreciate, I appreciate each and every one of you for sharing your stories and being transparent. And I hope that I will have these conversations. I want to hold myself accountable, but I want to hold other people accountable to talk to people in your community. Talk to John and Samantha at the job who are open-minded. I know we shouldn't have to educate people, but if people are willing to fight the battles for us, because we definitely need more white people in the front lines, it can't just be us, then open that conversation, have this. And hold your black people accountable too, because it's not just a one-sided thing. We're not educated enough. We're not having these deep conversations to unlearn some of the toxic shit in our own community for us to thrive and be better as people. And those are the things that I aspire to do, and those are the things I pray that will progress in the future. So for our Ask 3 this week, it is, I can't answer this question, but Candace wants to know, what are some ways that Black men can feel more appreciated and embraced inside of the Black community?
Telling us.
Exactly.
Telling us, allowing us to be vulnerable, in acknowledging that we aren't vulnerable, but also allowing us to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You have to welcome the vulnerability, and you can't, when somebody shows you their vulnerable self, you don't jump to conclusion and sit there and judge them and be like, oh, he's a pussy. No, like, you literally ask for this, and then you get what you're asking for, then you're like, oh, I don't want this anymore.
Right.
Well, then why the fuck you ask for it?
Right.
Yep.
Right. So saying thank you, saying I appreciate you.
Yeah, and I mean, it sucks that you have to say that. That's just being a decent human being.
Yeah. When they say check on your strong friends, we are your strong friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Check the fuck up on us.
Yes.
I need someone to say, how was your day?
It makes a difference.
Because we're not okay.
We're not.
Because we're the ones that have to ask everybody else, how was your day? How did you do? Are you okay today?
Yeah.
Someone's got to ask us too.
And it needs to be an open dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just a cordialness, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually have a conversation. An adult one.
Yes, love on some Black men. Love on some Black men today. So thank you, Candace, for that question.
If you're a Black woman that feels like Black men don't be shit, we're gonna be looking out for y'all, then you need to stop dealing with the fuck niggas you fucking dealing with.
That's
facts.
We'll talking about that next week.
Fuckers.
Yeah, we will definitely be talking about that, the unprotection of Black women. So stay tuned. But
I need to be there. I need to be there for that one.
Yeah, I think just a good quick insight. I won't get too deep, but I think with the way that Black men want to be loved, we're unaware because y'all don't know how to love yourselves. So we can't.
We don't know.
We don't know on both sides, like how to love as a Black woman and how to love as a Black man, and how do we love together in this space. Like I said, we have so much unlearning and relearning and rethinking to do that everything, like a lot of the shit that was given to us was trash. But I completely understand because it was about survival. It was about self-preservation, and all those things. So I get it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. And so I say that to say, like, love on a Black man today. Like, ask how they're doing, check up on them, tell them you love them, and men need to start telling each other they love each other. It's okay. Stop with that. It's gay. Like, what? If you tell another Black man, like, you love him.
Shit, I told my cousins, I got cousins that's more like my brother. I told him, like, yo, I love you. You gotta let them know that they all cared about people who care about them.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I can tell them.
Because y'all backs are against the fucking world.
Yep.
And I will never forget this conversation. A friend of mine called me, and I was like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Like, what's going on with you? Like, he was like, I mean, everything is fine. What makes you think that something will be wrong? I said, you're Black. And it just hit him so hard. I said, you're a Black man. And he says, you absolutely right. I didn't even think about that.
That's the problem.
That's I know that the world is against you. I know that you have so much going on. So even though things are great now, I still need to ask, like, how is your mental space? How is your emotional space? Like, how are you, like, in real life? And that's very, very important. So like I said, we need to start holding ourselves accountable. I'm not saying just blame the white people, but we have some due diligence to do within ourselves.
It's your fault.
It is.
It's your fault.
It is, but it has carried over. And when you know better, you do better.
Right.
So it's still up to us to be, in order for us to carry the torch, we have to set the examples for other people to shape what we want in this world. So.
Let's say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not building shit. If you Black today and you got beef with somebody that's Black, squash that shit.
Yes. Wait, you say if they Black today?
If you Black.
Oh. They could be Black every day.
If you Black and you got beef with somebody and it ain't like life threatening shit, squash that shit. When you ain't gotta fuck with them, y'all ain't gotta be cool. But squash that beef. Don't beef with them, they Black. Just let that shit rock.
Yep.
Like, all right, it's the past. Move on.
Absolutely. There's too much hate in this world, and we need to stick together instead of...
We do too much hating of each other.
Yes, we do. Love on each other today. Love your brother, love your sister. And I'm not talking about the same vaginas y'all came from. I'm talking about the person in your community that looks like you. No matter what walk of life that they had, love on them. Check up on them. Be there for them. Support them. Encourage them. And stand by them. Because when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, it encompasses all things. It's not just one subgroup of people. It's not just about police brutality. You know, it's black on black crime as well. You know, that's a whole nother conversation people don't want to have, but that's true. You know, how we look at ourselves and our identity crisis within the Black community is horrible. And we have a lot of fucking cleaning up to do. So, our words of wisdom this week is, every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world. And that is by the late, great Harriet Tubman. And I say that to say that everything that you ever want in this world is right inside of you. You do not have to go far. You don't have to search for it. You just have to tap into yourself. We are all geniuses. We are all gods and goddesses. We are all beautiful, wonderful creatures. But we have to tap into that in order for us to grow and to experience and to share and to love. It starts with you. So I want to thank you again for everyone being on this show. And I will see you guys. Talk to you guys next week. Bye. If you can't get enough of the Bitch Let's Talk, you can always follow us on IG and Facebook at BLT Podcast and on Twitter at Bitch Let's Talk. If you want more content and updates on the show, you can always go to our website, bltpodcast.com.